Now. Hello. Thank you guys for joining us. We're so excited. Happy Women's Month. Oh, we are so excited to join you all again. We want to first acknowledge and thank PushBlack for allowing us to and host this evening with you all on Facebook Live. I'm joined by my amazing sisters this evening of the oh Electoral Innovators Fellowship. Yes, we started back in summer 2020, and we are excited because we've hosted various virtual discussions throughout the past six or so months. And we're excited that Pushback Black has allowed us to utilize their platform to continue our discussions. So we want to welcome you all to the first Women Are Speaking. Pull up a chair because Black Women Are Speaking discussion series. The part one. We are so excited to have you all this evening. So I just want to introduce myself first. Well, first, I want to say we allow Push Black allows us to utilize this platform. And so we want to encourage you all to please support Push Black and donate if you can, like, subscribe to the channel, and continue to support this amazing platform that allows us as Black people to share our stories. So without further ado, I'm Brittany Smalls. I'm the Pennsylvania State Coordinator of Black Voters Matter Fund. I also am the CEO of BSM Strategies. So I'm excited to be joined again by my amazing sisters, and I want to kick it off, pop it off to my sister Teryn to introduce herself.
All right. Hi, y'all. I was like, ooh, don't send it to me next because I kind of wanted to hear what everybody else was going to say. But I am Teryn. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm a law student, and I am a Black girl who has a lot to say. I'm going to kick it over to Chanel.
Hello, everyone. My name is Chanel Fields. I'm from Boston, Massachusetts, and I am a student studying my last semester of my master's in public administration. And yeah, I'm going to kick it over to Rhyane.
Hi, everybody. My name is Rhyane Wagner. I am the policy manager for Black Voters Matter. I'm your resident Blacktivist here in Florida, originally born and raised in Memphis, Tennessee. I will kick it over to Adrienne.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Adrienne Spinner. I'm from North Carolina, the Triad region. I'm a mom of two and a community organizer. The paid job is as state organizing director of North Carolina Housing Coalition, and then I volunteer a lot in my community, and I also blog. My blog is called Melanated Movement Mama. So excited to be here.
Okay, so I'm going to start us off with just a little icebreaker to kind of get to know us a little bit. It's going to be a game of this or that. And so, ladies, y'all can just take your mics off mute. It's okay if there's a little overlap. I really want to see the excitement here. So the first one, I'm going to ease us into it. Call or text?
Text.
I'm definitely text. Yeah, don't just call.
I'm socially awkward. Text me.
I'm an introvert, so I would say text, but if it's family, I'll call.
Yes. Okay, same. Okay, braids or curls? It's going to be braids for me.
Braids.
Braids.
Less work.
Every organizer should be. We got to get up and go, y'all.
Yeah, it's going to be the braids.
Yeah, you're right. It's definitely
I like the curls. These are difficult.
Yeah.
These don't know how to behave sometimes.
So curls ain't gonna work. Braids are like, you don't have to worry about it in the morning, and if it's hot outside, it's not a problem.
True.
It literally can shave like 30 minutes off your morning routine when you have braids, and it's unbeatable. Okay, ebooks or physical books?
Physical for me.
Physical.
I
Old
need to
school.
feel, read it.
Physical book.
I like the smell.
Same. I like to be able to touch it, feel it, look at
Yeah.
it, have a whole library.
Same.
Yes. Okay, Brandy or Monica?
Brandy.
I'm always team.
I like Monica.
I don't both.
She's sister ratchet and I like it.
Yeah,
They both had their
I
good
love
qualities.
the ratchet though.
Yeah.
She
Okay,
has it in her back pocket just in case.
just in case. I mean, she's ready to pull it out at any time. I love that. She's about it. Okay, iced coffee or cold coffee? Iced coffee or cold coffee? Iced coffee or hot coffee?
Ice.
Depends on the weather. If I drink hot
If
coffee,
it's
and start
Cuban
sweating.
coffee, coffee, I want it hot.
Yeah.
I like iced lattes and cold coffee,
Mhm.
like cold black coffee. I mean, hot black coffee.
Yeah.
Iced Vietnamese coffee.
Mm.
I'm gonna have to
Okay.
get a Vietnamese
Haven't tried it,
Cuban
try
coffee.
That's it.
Will be
Excuse
up
me.
when it says the coffee's gonna work for you and keep you up. That will work. So
Yeah.
I suggest everyone to try it.
Okay, noted. Definitely writing that down. And y'all who are tuning in, y'all definitely let us know your this or that's too in the comments and let us know which ones you prefer. CNN or MSNBC?
MSNBC.
Right.
Yeah.
That was pretty.
I like Rachel Maddow, Joy Reid,
Rachel.
Tiffany Cross.
Tiffany Cross has been everything for me. I'm
Mhm.
like, Tiffany Cross is what we need.
The way she gathers, perfection.
facts, you know, just a
Joy
new
Reid been
energy.
coming through though. She been gathering
Yeah.
some folks too.
With sources, with receipts,
Yes.
references,
Yes.
everything.
MSNBC's been doing way better on that black representation than CNN too lately.
Period.
Very true.
And women. There's
Very true.
what women do we? Abby. We have Abby Phillips.
Although Abby Phillips, yeah.
Relatively new, but you know, I think we deserve more. I think we deserve more. Okay, I'll do two more: R&B or hip hop.
R&B exists still?
First of all,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hip hop exists still.
I think it depends on the day for me. It definitely depends on the day for me.
on the time,
Like what I'm
GOTV was definitely a 3-6 Mafia situation.
I can get that.
However, I will say, as policy manager, it varies. It's a lot more R&B, but definitely during election season, a whole bunch of rap.
Yeah, I agree. If I listen to too much R&B, I'll have another kid. So
Ooh.
I'll just stick with.
Okay.
I'm good.
I always
If I need to.
I wasn't ready for that.
I am literally screaming at that. That is the best answer. Okay, last one: dine in or delivery.
Dine in, like cook
Exactly, cook
or deliver
or pick up. Cook or pick up.
These days, pick it up.
I'm loving curbside pickup right now.
It's great, isn't it?
10 out of 10.
Minimal human interaction.
Exactly.
I would say pickup is fine, but nothing beats home cooked food. So if I could pick up a plate from my mom's house or something, yeah, I can do that pickup.
That works.
Yes. Okay. All right. I love it. That's really it. People are hollering in the comments. People are also team Monica. Some people said everybody pretty much team MSNBC. I love that.
Yeah.
Everybody said they picking up nowadays, period. Yeah. I mean, what else can you do in these times? You got to take the cooking off the plate.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Rhyane, is this your mom? She said that's because I bring Rhyane food.
Wow.
Is your mom calling you out? Hi,
a little
Mama.
bit. And she brings me wine, and I appreciate it.
Who are we kicking over to? Who's next? What are we talking about, y'all?
Me here.
I'm next. I would like to, welcome everyone like we all have been doing just now. And I just want to let everyone know that this is a collaborative, authentic, unapologetic space where we can discuss a variety of topics that center Black women, our Black communities. And so please feel free in the chat, keep chatting, drop in your comments, let us know what you like to see, what you like to hear. Yeah, just engage with us. We definitely want to use this platform to engage with everyone. So make sure you do that. And again, thank you for joining us.
You know what I'm gonna say? Donate, donate, donate.
Yes, yes, yes. All right.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think like Brittany talked about earlier, we all kind of came together through this Electoral Innovators Fellowship, and that morphed into times when we're on Facebook Live. We are mainly talking about electoral work and political work and things like that, especially last year. And the opportunity to move forward is really exciting. And so I thought we could just, talk about us personally, share a little bit of our personal stories and kind of how we got here and what we would like to see from this pull up a chair, Black women are speaking. Someone want to kick it off?
Yeah.
I'll go.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm usually never first. I came into this work probably like a lot of people, starting out as an organizer. I worked for the Obama campaign in Florida and a few others. Worked for a mayoral's race in Tennessee. So I've always known that this is the life that I wanted. It's just when you're young like that, you don't know what that looks like or what it's called. And it ultimately led to my current role with Black Voters Matter as a policy manager, because I am a policy dork. I will spit all the data and the facts to you, whether you like it or not. And so I feel like I came into this space really wanting to shout out, the unsung heroes in this work. A lot of what happened last year, now that I think about it and really sit with it, the focus was on the superstars, and there's nothing wrong with that. Don't get me wrong, but there's so many of us on the ground who are doing the work. Sometimes, some of us are even bringing our own personal trauma because we love this work so much that we forget to take care of self, and so we're bringing a lot of our trauma into the work, not really understanding that you need to deal with that first. You can't pour from an empty cup. So, I hope that throughout this process and, further into our series that we're able to highlight just some of the things that we've experienced as women in this work, Black women in this work, because we don't get highlighted enough. It took Georgia saving this country from itself for the larger white world, if you will, white liberal spaces even to understand the critical role that we play. We're the backbone of this country, and it's high time that we get noticed for it. I'm not one to ask for permission for stuff, but, it feels like there's a shift happening, and I hope that we're able to highlight some of the dope women, Black women that we work with that, aren't necessarily on the news, that are doing the work, working their asses off across the country, moving this country forward for the most part and fighting for democracy, because you all know, this thing is fragile and it has to be protected all the time. Even now, there are well over 200 some odd voter suppression bills dropping at the state level. And so it's crazy. you know, and I hope that we can highlight some of the Black women doing the work throughout this series. I think that's what I look forward to, you know, hearing from some new voices that are, you know, representing our community to the fullest.
Yeah, I can pick up where you left off, Ryan. Thank you for sharing those amazing words, and I'm so happy to be sharing this space with you. Earlier today, I was talking to one of my friends, and we were just talking about how, you know, she just said being Black in America, because she's a lawyer and she's running for office, and she talked about, you know, her family going through COVID issues, and she talked about you know, just things that go on in her personal life, and you know, and I shared with her some of the things that I was going through at the moment. And I think that I just want to be truly authentic and just have a space where we can be vulnerable but also supportive of one another, and show our true selves, and offer grace, because I think a lot of us, you know, they view Black women as superwomen and that we can do it all. And then when we may not hit the target, we are held to such a high, like a standard that sometimes is, you know, not fair. And I just wanted, I'm just, again, I look forward to us just being showcasing our authentic selves, and maybe just showing up as we are and supporting one another and showing the Black love and sisterhood, so that it can be, you know, reciprocated. Hopefully somebody's inspired by how we support one another. You know what I mean? Just to be honest, y'all know I was going through stuff um last week, and y'all just carried on, keep going, and you know, I was able to step right in, you know, when it was time to go live, and I'm grateful for that. And that shows a true sisterhood. So my expectation, I have no expectation but just um complete gracefulness, grace for you all, and I want to be able to support you all the way you support me, and just, you know, talk about the real things, current events, and what's going on in society today.
Thank you. And yeah, Brittany, you guys inspire me. You talk about inspiration and everything, but I got into this work later. Let me not say later in life, but not young. I just turned 40 last Saturday. So I'm entering a new phase of life and motherhood and everything. And I haven't been doing this work very long. I started in 2018 when I like to say I tripped and fell into politics because I was asked to run for office for my local Board of Education. And even though I lost that race, all the connections that I gained with the campaign, connecting with organizers, especially women and Black women, it just led to a lot of other opportunities. And so I stuck with community organizing and political activism. And that brought me to, I was working for Equality North Carolina, which is the oldest equality-based organization in North Carolina that works on LGBTQ issues, but through a racial justice space. And so through that, I was able to apply to this fellowship and met you all. And I really want to shout out Whitney White, because the fellowship was not what I expected, at least in the beginning, because the first half of it, we talked about ourselves and our own personal goals and our schedules, and you know, just how to take advantage of our time and take back our time. And so for me, as a mom of two who has been used to, you know, two little ones dictated my time, and I wasn't even used to thinking about me. And so through the work, and then through seeing what you all were doing, and just the power that you all are building and having, it's inspirational. And it's what made me want to stick with this, to do more activism, to start a blog and start just keeping my writing that I usually just did in a journal somewhere or scribbled down somewhere, but to have somewhere to start archiving it. And so what I would like to see out of this is just continued centering of Black women. I think last year told us and taught us that, you know, people will say, oh yeah, thank you, Black women. Thank you, Stacey Abrams. Y'all are awesome. But then it goes back to the same old, same old. And I'm not even going to say it's just conservatives, because I experienced a lot of difficulty working with the Democratic Party in some spaces that take our work for granted. And they want, you know, appropriating our work, taking our labor for granted. But then when it comes to leading, we are questioned, we are invalidated, we are gaslit often. And so stepping into the space, taking up space, I think is something that a lot of folks aren't ready for. But I think we as Black women, like you said, Rhyane, is a shift. And so we are taking up space and being unapologetic about it. We don't have to be the superwoman. We can show up however the hell we want to show up. And it's okay, because other non-Black spaces, you're given room to grow, to be imperfect, to evolve. And Black women, we're expected to just hit the ground perfect and working, but don't take credit. Don't take credit though. Don't try to get too far. And so I think that this is a space for us to just be us. And I want to learn from you all and grow and just talk about Black women and really center us in our issues and our voices.
Oh, you guys are very inspirational. I would say I came into this area of interest through my research. I have a research background in health disparities and healthcare access. Through that, I worked very closely with the community, and I'm going to be honest, I thought, oh, it's just people who don't want to sign up for health insurance. It's people who don't want to go to the doctors. And after just working with them closely and identifying what the challenges are and what the barriers are just to even get to a doctor's appointment, it really struck me. And I'm like, I felt like I needed to do something more. Like what I was doing, yes, I, helped individuals access healthcare, access health insurance and things like that. But I felt like it wasn't enough. And there's more people that I need to help. And through that, at that time, I had an interest in going into getting my master's in public health. And I'm like, I need something with law, policy, something. So my ultimate goal is supposed to go to business school and law schools, do a dual program. And after speaking to mentors, they were like, the master's in public administration is where you want to go, Chanel. And I searched all over Massachusetts to find a good program that fit me. And I was able to attend UMass Boston, the School of McCormick and Public Policy. And I'm excited there. And I had developed opportunities throughout that. I am a co-chair on the Health and Wellness Platform for the Massachusetts Women of Color Coalition. And through that, it even inspired me more. And I also was provided this opportunity through the coalition as well as my graduate school. And again, I want to say thank you, Whitney White, for providing this PushBlack Fellowship. Our fellowship was an Electoral Innovator Fellowship. And like Adrienne said, I wasn't expecting the fellowship to be not just focused on what we need to do and the work we need to do in our communities, but also about us. And through that, I built my confidence. I also found a community that's a supportive community that supports me, women like me, even males, and I'm PushBlack as well, supporting women. You don't see that much. And I'm happy to be a part of this. And also, I want this space, like Brittany said, to be authentic. And like everyone else said, unapologetic. I feel like we have all these expectations of how we should look, how we should speak, how we should show up. And still, even when we show up, our voices don't get heard. So I would like this space to be as authentic as possible. And I would like to share my personal experiences so everyone can relate and not just be in this formal setting where we're hearing words that we don't come across all the time, or we're speaking ourselves in our true selves. We're not in these spaces where we have to worry about who we are and what we are and what we say and things like that. But I definitely think it's important. I would like to be the voice for those who aren't heard, especially women who aren't heard, and be able to touch all different parts in our Black issues and topics that pretty much impact not only Black women but our Black communities as well. So that's why I'm here, and I'm excited. I'm excited that we are able to PushBlack. Black was able to provide us this space to create this space for us.
I don't know how to follow up with all of those great things. I mean, that y'all have said, everything that I've been just reflecting on for the past few months. I think we are almost a year into even just knowing each other, and having these conversations and meeting with each other. And so I'm super excited to see where we have come from, us together as a collective and us general as a people. When I think about the words that y'all are saying, Rhyane said that a shift is happening, and I'm grateful to be a part of the Black radical tradition of Black radical women. I have on a shirt today with Ida, with Fannie Lou, with Harriet, Maya, and Sojourner. And, you know, we are those women in our communities. We are the women that are taking a step out on faith, that are pushing against the grain, that are working on healing ourselves and freeing ourselves in a way that we can show up in the world. And so I also want to highlight and celebrate Whitney for her role in our lives, for helping us to take back our time, for helping us to make sure that we are centering ourselves, for making time for rest, for not worrying about doing all the things that she says, but really working on making sure that we are able to show up in the world and do the work that we need to do, but by knowing what it is that like we love to do, building a life that we really do love. And we really do love this work. We really do love advocating and fighting for other people. We really do love making sure that Black women and other women of color have a space where they can be themselves, where they can talk about the shit that they are going through, where they can talk about, we talk about microaggressions, but they really aren't that micro. When we talk about the things that we are dealing with in the world, I think that this space is a great space for us to kind of, like Adrienne said, document and archive what those things have been like for us. And so I'm super excited to start this new journey. I came into this as a freshly graduated college student. I was taking my gap year, not really sure what I wanted to do with things. I was applying for law schools, but I'd been waitlisted. And so I was really just kind of figuring out what the hell I wanted to do. Who was I going to be? Have always been super political. I've always been pretty outspoken. And so I had graduated and had come from organizing all these years and kind of fighting against the institution. And so the downtime was really weird for me. Even just this past year has been really humbling for me to kind of take a step back from everything, which has been hard considering that like we are faced with literally everything right now. We are seeing everything kind of laid out right in front of us. We are still, you know, in the midst of a pandemic that has affected all of our lives in so many ways. And so I want to be able to kind of speak to those things, to heal myself by talking to you all, heal myself by sharing information with others about how we can push ourselves forward as a people. And so I am so excited for this new journey that we are on, to shake shit up, to have conversations about healing and rest, to make sure that we are being intentional about reaching out to our family and friends and educating them on things that they may not be aware of. I think that the time is now. Just again, as Rhyane said, a shift is happening.
And I just want to add real quick because, you know, I'm with a group of ladies that have a lot of experience in this work, have gone to school majoring in this, have been doing this work for a while. And I just started it 3 years ago. And I started it because I just needed a new purpose. I wanted something beyond just changing diapers and, trying to build a business and everything. And I love my babies. But I think part of my purpose here is to raise two strong Black women. And so I have to model that. I have to model that through taking care of myself, through living out my own purpose. And so I want to encourage folks that, maybe parents, you may be working full time, you may, we all have stuff going on. But I just want to encourage you to show up in whichever way you can. There are little things that that can be done. There's ways for Black women and allies of Black women to be supporting our work. You don't have to be a Black woman to support the work and uplift the work of Black women. And, everyone's, says, thank you to Stacey Abrams, and we know that she did amazing work. But Stacey Abrams was doing the work for a while before people would even start listening to her. And so I tell people a lot here, yes, Stacey did some wonderful things. I want to see her in elected office one day very soon. I think folks like her are needed, but there are Stacey's everywhere. There are Stacey's behind the scenes doing the work. There's Stacey's that, don't have a lot of time, but, they'll show up however they can. And it doesn't have to be doing a direct action on the front line. It could be watching someone's kids. It could be bringing food to an organizer. It could be speaking to an elected official, organizing a petition. There are roles in the movement that, all of us that hold equal value. And the movement won't move forward without those roles. So I just encourage you to really, make a little bit of time just to do some self-reflection and growth and see how you can show up in this work. And if you're in areas that all of us, are in, we'll talk about at the end how you can connect with us. But, Google searching, being on social media. If you're watching this, then clearly, you're about supporting the work and learning about the work. So you can find folks in your area to connect with. But it's going to take a team effort, and it's going to, it's going to take Black women and the allies of Black women to really move this work forward. So just wanted to add that, Teryn, to what you were saying.
No, I love that. There's definitely a role for everybody to play. I know that I often am having that conversation with my family and friends, like, they're like, please let us know what we can do, or, whatever. And like you said, there is literally from childcare to making sure that people are eating. I was recently watching a Fannie Lou Hamer documentary, and she just talked about the role that like gardening can have in the movement. We are thinking about issues of like food insecurity. You would be surprised at just how simple it would be to provide seed, soil, and a place for people to plant things in their homes, in their backyards, in their apartments. We can have food that we can grow on our own and make sure that people are able to eat, making sure that people have places to stay. All those things are things that we can do as a community. We don't have to wait for the government to give us things, while they should, and it's their role. We have the power to create these communities and build power within ourselves.
Yeah, and I want to just piggyback off of that. That's amazing, Teryn. That Black women, you are enough. And I think sometimes we get into the space where we think that we have to do so much. What you offer, I don't care if you sent a postcard, and that one postcard to somebody, you helped pushed us, moved us forward. I used to feel insecure because I didn't finish college, and I'm being honest about that. But you don't, I think about the quote from Martin Luther King Jr. about you don't have to be the most articulate, and I'm butchering it, the quote, but you don't have to be the most articulate to, want to help people. Like, you don't, now I want to find the quote, y'all, because y'all know I'm I'm gonna be thinking about it all night. Like, I can't believe I messed that quote up. Okay, so the quote says, everybody can be great because anybody can serve. You don't have to have a college degree to serve. You don't have to make your subject and verbs agree to serve. You only need a heart full of grace and a soul generated by love. And that's what I believe, that is the quote of my life, because I really just I love Black people. I genuinely do. I love Black women, and I want to see us moving forward. And I know some people may see us on a platform like this or in the news, or just sometimes we're highlighted, but that don't make us better than you. Because I just want to talk to the viewer that feels like, oh man, I could be doing so much more. You're doing it. You know what I mean?
I agree. I think it's important to also think. I find myself in spaces where we talk about these things of helping one another, and there's no action to it. I find myself in spaces in spaces with white individuals and spaces with Black individuals, and we always go, yeah, we need to help each other, help each other, help each other. And I don't see action. So I think it's now is the time we need to start putting our words into action and do things. And literally every person I talk to, friends, family, they're like, oh, I have this idea, or I'm thinking about this. I always say, why are you talking dreams? And you could do this. So why don't you start the steps? And it really does take that courage and braveness to like get past that fear of not doing it right the first time, or you're insecure about it. You have to break that point. So it's important. And definitely when you say you're going to support one another, make sure you really are doing that, because that's very important. And especially for our Black community, I feel like, for me, I'm coming from Boston, that's where we can improve a little more, and is supporting one another, especially in businesses and things like that. I literally, every store that's Black owned in my area, in my town that I live, I literally shop there. It's important to support one another, and just know we are powerful individuals. Just if we stop shopping today, I'm sure that the whole nation will be down. Or if we stop giving what we give to society and things like that, it will be down. Just know that what you are doing, it matters, and it is making a difference. And like Brittany said, and like all these wonderful women said, just one little thing, it does matter. It does help out. Even if you don't know how to help, it's okay to reach out to an individual and ask how you can help. It really matters. So I wanted to bring that up.
I do want to highlight, Chanel, that was amazing what you said. I do want to highlight that, the election did not stop after the presidential election. Here in Philadelphia, we vote every 6 months. And I just want to just highlight it, like get to know on in your state.
I'll add, Brittany, that it's a whole lot of politicians out here and not enough public servants. And so don't feel bad if your method and your route to serving your community doesn't involve running for office. I don't want to run for office, despite what my mother, who's probably still in the chat, would like for me to be, partially because I don't play well with people that say our lives matter in the comments and Republicans. So I think I'm best served behind the scenes. But again, like everybody has their lane. It's just that you have to center your why you do this. Because if you're doing it for the money, you won't make it. You won't last long. You have to have that foundation of why you're doing this. That's my four-legged broke best friend in the background. But you have to really figure out why you're doing something, because you're not serving anybody else by doing it for a superficial reason.
Absolutely. Someone put in the comments, invest in Black women. And so again, we want to thank you all for investing in us by tuning in tonight, but make sure that you are, donate a little something if you can, because PushBlack has really taken a stance and has created this platform for us to have these conversations with you all, and they are investing in us, and you all are investing in us, and Black women need to be invested in. Invest in Black women. Invest in Black women. Invest in Black women.
And I think that there are a lot of times when, and this doesn't even just have to apply to Black women or Black folks, but you know, I'm one that strongly believes that these next couple of generations are really going to be the ones to start knocking some shit over and really making a change. I think that I don't want to sound ageist in saying this, but I think that times have changed and organizing needs to evolve and needs to be dynamic. And I think that there's a lot of wisdom that we can take from our elders and older organizers, but at the same time, there's wisdom in young folks too. And I think that there's a very toxic cycle in the Black community of treating young people and kids like they're beneath you just because they're younger, or just because they're your children. But there's wisdom to gain in that. And I think that since, you know, they will be the ones running stuff one day, it's up to us right now to empower them. So I think no matter who you are and the community you serve, you can find young folks that are doing some great things and really start to uplift them. I think that that is the problem when you come into political organizations, is that there's very much a generational divide and there's not enough listening. And there is a need for the same old folks to be staying in power and the same group of elected officials just being there. And when you really start to look at, well, what has been done for the Black community, you know, it's not as great as they would have you believe. And I think that there is room for older generations to help mentor younger folks, help encourage them to run for office. I hate the whole wait your turn, stay in your lane. I can't stand that, because there are plenty of times when, you know, someone younger than me has inspired me, has gathered me when I needed to be gathered, because I leave myself open to that. Just because you're younger than me does not mean that I can't learn from you. I learn from my kids every single day. They're my why. And so I think that it's important to really acknowledge young progressive folks, young progressive Black women. There's a need for us to have a safe space, and there's a void there in a lot of ways, because, you know, we're not listened to as much as we should be. We're not acknowledging younger generations and younger progressive people, and that's needed. That's needed. And I want to encourage younger folks to just keep getting in the way and keep taking up space. There are people like me that I try to use my platform or wherever table I'm at to make room for somebody else. And I think, you know, we need to be the kind of women that lift others as we rise. And that should be younger folks. That should be our youth. That should be our millennials and Gen Zs and beyond. I mean, they're doing some stuff that I never even imagined, like the way they just navigate social media and the internet, and just, you know, being able to organize in those ways when you have some older elected officials that won't even check their email. Like, come on. Like, and so I think that things need to evolve. And if you have folks in your community that are not moving with everybody and not leaving themselves open to learning and to growing, you're never too old to grow, then it's time for some of them to move on out the way. I mean, we got better blood pressure and better knees anyway, and better backs and stuff. So, you know, let us be great. And, you know, I want to let other folks younger than me be great. Huh?
I don't know about the knees part.
Oh, well, yeah, I have the Rice Krispie joints, because I used to dance, so my knees are all the way jacked up now. But you know, we do the best we can. We use our icy hot and our ibuprofen when we need to.
I take my Epsom salt baths still.
Yes, the Epsom salt.
And I'm 30, so hey, I'll let you know.
I want to add real quick to what Adrienne was saying about listening to each other, our elders listening to us, and vice versa. Because what was so striking to me last year with the loss of C.T. Vivian, the late Congressman John Lewis, and Joseph Lowry, it was like we're losing our icons, and we're also losing that knowledge that they had, right? So it's important for us to not only listen to each other, but make sure those stories get passed down, because these kids are not going to get the whole truth from school. And they're not necessarily going to get it necessarily from TV either, unless they're actually going to look for it. So it's so important to also make sure that we're passing down our elders' stories, because they won't always be around to tell them. And if we don't share them with those that come after us, we'll lose our history that way.
Absolutely. I am a part of Gen Z. And so I really do believe in the importance of storytelling and passing down those stories. Again, I am a Black Southerner through and through. My family, my mom's family is from Birmingham, Alabama. And so there is just so much history in Birmingham. I'm from Georgia. There's so much history here. And like Rhyane said, we have to continue to pass down these stories. Even when we are thinking about our own stories, it's important for us to document them. It's important for us to write them down. I love the saying, write shit down, because I feel like we really do have to document the things that we are going through, because they can serve as a lesson for others. They can serve as a blueprint for others. And it is just so necessary. And when we are thinking about those intergenerational gaps, I mean, there's just so much healing and communication that needs to be done there. I feel like on both ends, you know, young folks and older folks feel like, you know, we're against each other, but there's so much to learn from each other, and it has to happen. There's no way that we can get to the place that we really want to be if that healing and that connection doesn't happen. You know, our elders, they're our elders. Like, we really do need them to guide us. We need them to share the real things that happen to them. And I believe that they need to be open to some new things, some ideas, like you said, emails, using social media even. I feel like those things are definitely necessary in this time. It's 2021, and young folks can help people learn those things. We can help them get their social media game up. We can help them learn to use PDFs or Google Drive, all those things that are like super necessary. We can help them do those things, but they also have to advocate for us. They have to make space for us to have space to grow, to learn these things. You know, if we are just now coming into the realm of politics, or if we're just now coming into this type of work, you know, we need them to guide us. We don't need them to gatekeep. We need them to build us up and mold us so that we too can be great and create the kind of changes that we really need to see. Because there's a lot of policies and things, you know, that they have been a part of that have not been good for us. And I think that we are seeing a lot of that now. And so we're really wanting to work on those things. We want to change a lot of the policies that are out. We know that, you know, now we have somebody that always says that they wrote the bill, and the bill was extremely, you know, bad for the Black community. And so again, I think there definitely has to be some intergenerational healing and some intergenerational conversations that have to happen in order for us to get to where we need to be.
I mean, you know, you think about the Black Panther movement, and most of the leaders were like 19 and 20 at the time. So young people have been leading us from the beginning of time, and you know, we have to keep evolving. So the only way we evolve is to be innovative, which is new. So what are the new things that we can do to move us further in a new direction?
This is my last thing about it. I think a really good model, though, of like the intergenerational just relationship is Angela Davis. I mean, she has been about it forever, and she always makes time to have conversations with young folks. She always makes time to learn from young folks. And we love Angela Davis. Like, who doesn't want to hear what Angela Davis has to say? I was fortunate enough to meet her in Birmingham about 2 years ago, and you know, I just remember feeling so damn excited and like shook that I was really in her presence again, coming from her house that she grew up in is next door to my aunt's house. And so just knowing like, you know, that this was somebody who we read about and talk about, and seeing her in real time and like hearing her experiences and hearing her stories, but also her wanting to hear our experiences and hear our stories. I think that that is super important. And someone said, you know, lifting as we climb. Yes, we have to make sure that we are always bringing other people along with us. We never can get to a position and be like, you know, I done made it now, I'm good, and forget about everybody else. I think that when we quote unquote make it, like we have to make it our mission to make sure that other people have a space to also be in there. I never want to be in a place and be the first Black person to do this, or the first Black woman to do this, or the only Black woman to do a thing. There has to be other people that are like me in that space.
And I would also like to add, we need more mentors in our Black communities. I would say I have a friend that works for this and that, and I find myself collaborating with my friends on things or getting advice and knowledge from them, and not so much from the older individuals. And I feel like that's something we need, because they also, our youth need guidance. So we are leaders now, and it's important that you educate the future leaders and provide them with tools and the skills that they need so they can be better leaders than what we are. Even though we are good leaders, but they can always be better. So I would say that's something that I see that's lacking in our community, and I would like to see more of. Even in a job nowadays, you can get a job and it's like, hey, you got the job and you start today. And it's like, I don't even know how to do the job I was hired for. You don't have those mentors. And those mentors will not only give the advice and words of wisdom, as well as knowledge and skills they need, they also will be the one to open the door for the next person. And I want to make it my mission in whatever career I fall into. I want to make sure I open those doors for my people and make sure that those opportunities are provided to them, and they have the tools to provide that. But I'm also going to teach them to give it to the next person too when they move up, and that's important. As you can see, looking at our newly elected officials now, we see more Black individuals in seats now. We see more diversity. And that only happened because they were leaders at the top, allowing those doors to be open. So we need that as well. And also, sorry, not to just throw this in, but also recognizing our privilege. I mean, I could sit here and say I'm a poor Black woman, but no, I am privileged. I do have a degree, an education, and I always tell people, and just speaking to my nephews and nieces, college isn't for everyone, but I can help you get to what you want to do. I have resources and tools. You don't have to speak to me about college. It's okay if you want to go into construction, or if you want to go into selling beaded bracelets, I can help you. So there's always something and places for people to go, and it's just important that we support each other by opening those doors, because it is important. It is.
Yeah, that's perfect, Chanel. And there's so many things that we could be talking about, and so many important discussions that need to happen. And so that's why we're really grateful for PushBlack for giving us this opportunity to talk about things and uplift each other. We need to be supporting other Black women. We need more young Black women in elected office, period, full stop. And if you're not the type to run for office, I don't think I'm gonna run for office again. I never say never, but I think there's a bit too much behaving that has to happen. But I will support Black folks, young Black women that are running for office. And, you know, it was a shame here in North Carolina that none of the Black women that ran won their race. And there's something wrong with that. There's something wrong with that. And there's something wrong with the fact that, you know, political parties have a really hard time supporting Black candidates. And they will fund and support and uplift mediocrity. And that can't happen. It can't, because that's why we're stagnant. We can't have the folks that are just like, meh, because that actually comes from a place of privilege to just not be invested. But, there are folks that got skin in the game. There are folks that have to have these policy changes or else their families are not going to survive. So if we're not the ones running for office, we need to be supporting those people. We need to be learning what our role in the movement is and really working that. And so yeah, we're really grateful for this time that we've been able to just kind of introduce ourselves. And our next show, if you will, recording is going to be Wednesday, April 7th. Ladies, did I get that correct? At 7 p.m. So yeah, same bat time, same bat channel. And so tune into PushBlack's page. And stay connected with PushBlack too, because I love their history lessons I get in my DMs. As a mom that has walked past my child that's learning remotely and heard some of the stuff being taught, and I'm like, whoa, that's not right. And so you got to turn around and you got to turn around and reteach some stuff. So it's helpful because I don't know all the things. So I've just started sharing some of those lessons I get in my DMs with her. And so, yeah. And just to mention real quick, the name of this that we came up with is Pull Up a Chair, Black Women Are Speaking. And we took that cue from Shirley Chisholm and her quote that if you don't get a seat at the table, you bring a folding chair. I fully believe that. I also believe in setting our own damn table, and that's what I'm ready to do. And I'm gonna have y'all pull up a chair to our table, allies. Pull up. So it's just that simple. And so that's kind of where we are with that. And the other ladies can speak on that as well. But yeah, tune into our next one. We're gonna be talking about COVID, the same thing that is affecting us all, and it affects Black women at proportional spaces and rates. So yeah, we'll be talking about our experiences with that and trying to just get some resources to the community and share our thoughts on that.
Hey everybody, if you want to continue to follow us on social media, in addition to tuning into our next show, we can be followed on Instagram and Twitter. I am at Rhinowag, so that's RHYNOWAG. I think we're also going to drop that in the chat as well so you can see. Chanel, number 3R5. Did I get that right, Chanel?
It's Chanel number 5. It was the E in it, so I made it 3.
Okay, there we go. I Told You So is where you can find Teryn. She's also at For Black Girls Who Have a Lot to Say. She's also a dope blogger. I'm going to list up your blog as well. And then B Philly, as we call her, at Black Voters Matter. Brittany is on Instagram at Brittany_S_S. Brittany, just confirm that I got that correct. I don't know if she heard me. And then finally, Adrienne is at Melanated Movement Mama. She is also blogging as well at www.melanatedmovementmama.com. And you can also find her at Melmove Mama on Twitter. So please take some time out and follow us so you can keep up with what we're doing. And we look forward to seeing you on April 7th.
Yeah, please connect with us also and tell us what you want to hear about and what you want to talk about. This is a fluid moving thing. So yeah, we don't have everything perfectly planned out. We want to be organic with this. And so, yeah, if you have ideas, questions, ways that you want to get involved, needs for resources, then please connect with us on social and leave your thoughts and ideas so we can know how we want to move forward with this. But thank you, ladies, for doing this.
Yes,
I lost my stage fright. I'm a little bit more comfortable.
Thank you guys for attending this. And thank you, ladies, for being wonderful. ladies.
Absolutely. Thank y'all.
Yes, thanks,
Have
y'all.
a good night. Be safe. Be
Bye.
safe.
Good night.
Good night.
Can't wait for our retreat.
Yeah.